Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have time. I can take it, and we can get through the rest of Night Night Part 2. Thank you everyone for your lovely comments on my last video. Yes, it was indeed my birthday the other day, and I had a really good time. Alright. How do we start? 60, hard difficulty, relatively chill map. Let's go for a couple of dart monkeys, eh? It's a classic. Then maybe I'll try and lean into like a sniper or a druid, if this works well enough. 2 lives gone, that's fine. Yeah, so now let's get a sniper to help clean things up when we start slipping. But yeah, I'll give you all a run through on how my birthday went, because at the time of recording the video, you know what? I'll just run you through the day, including the recording, so you get the gist, you get the time frame, right? Morning, woke up, said hi to my mum and my sister. They both wished me a happy birthday. That was very nice, very kind. They're usually not that up early. They're not up that early. Normal. Crap, I can actually speak English. But yeah, usually they're not up that early to see me in the morning before I head off, but I think they woke up a little earlier, especially for me, which was kind. Then my partner dropped me off at work. Also wished me a happy birthday. Didn't give me any sort of presents or anything like that, just because, you know, they're going to work. I don't want to bring them to work, hang around there, have to wait until I finish work to then bring them home and then open them up there, you know. So essentially, I didn't open any of my presents because my family left the presents they were going to give me out on the dining room table, so I didn't touch any of those. Headed off. My missus didn't bring down the present she got for me because I wouldn't be able to take it to work or open it up there or anything like that. It would just be a little bit annoying. So she thought ahead and was just like, leave it at home, give it to him later. Right? So went to work. Only a handful of people actually knew it was my birthday because I had organised and invited them to bouldering, like I had said in yesterday's video. And so those people knew, and then that quickly spread to someone writing on the whiteboard that it was my birthday. And I was just like, oh, happy birthday! And I was like, ah, yep, okay, that's a thing. Cool. Everyone in production now knows. But honestly, when I was younger, like when I was in high school, I don't know why. I really don't know why. But I didn't want anyone to know my birthday. When it was, month, exact day, nothing. I, for whatever reason, haven't, again, no idea why, but I just didn't want the attention. And I also had this thing which has constantly made me paranoid now in the future, so maybe don't do this to yourself. But I had this thing where I was like, right, and this is in high school, where I'd go, right, I have a Facebook profile, it tells people my birthday on the day, and it gives them a reminder to say happy birthday to me, right? In my mind I was like, only fucking idiots would use that, right? If they truly were my friends or were paying attention or whatever, they'd know it was my birthday without a reminder, right? Which, first of all, you know, in a sense, I had a semblance of truth in there, you know? It's like, you know, people should just know based off the date and be like, oh, hey, it's this person's birthday, so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. But then again, I've got a shit memory. I remember some of my family's birthdays. Other ones, I have to write down. I gotta write that shit down, which is essentially the equivalent of putting it into a calendar or having a lovely social media app to remind you on the day or the day before. So, for whatever reason, in order to test who was my quote-unquote true friends, the day before my birthday, I would change all my social media profiles to put my birthday on a completely different month, on a completely different day, let my birthday pass, and then swap it back, and see who greeted me. Anyway, that was psychotic and weird, but I used to do that. Anyway, so now that's made me paranoid because I, for the longest time, just thought that was like a normal thing to do. And so my brain was just like, yeah, that's normal as fuck. People do that all the time. So now I see people's birthdays on social media and I go, but is it your real one though? And 9 times out of 10 it is, so I'm just an idiot. Anyway, forget about that. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't want any of the attention. Like, it's quite nice when people remember your birthday and say like, hey, happy birthday, hope you have a good day, sort of thing. It's nice. It's nice. Like, I'm still not gonna go around advertising it, but you know, it's a nice change of pace from the time I spent trying to fucking hide it and keep it from people and tell people it's like 5 other different dates that it's absolutely not. Anyway, so everyone in production knew, and slowly that leaked over into the inventory department where I got wished a happy birthday by 2 of the people that work in there. I'd say, you know what? Thinking about it, 2 of the nicer people. 2 of the nicer people. Because I guarantee you more of them knew, they just didn't want to wish me a happy birthday, which is completely fine. I don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with me. I don't know when their birthdays are. I probably missed theirs and didn't say happy birthday to them. Water under the bridge doesn't even affect me, cross my mind, any of that. Let's put down a plane. Anyway, so work was boring and took a while, but got through it in the end. Junk's Bounty, Heart and Thunder. This should keep us alive for a bit. So I got home from work. That was when I had roughly like maybe an hour and a half worth of time before the bouldering event. And during that time I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do the first part of the Odyssey. I'm not gonna upload it. I'm just gonna record it so that it's out of the way, and then once everything's all said and done and the dust is settled, just before bed, I can upload it. Right? And so, before opening any presents, before going bouldering, before having essentially the main part of my birthday experience, I recorded the Odyssey. So then you got the part 1. Technically I was talking about it being like 4 o'clock or something. The time it was uploaded was closer to like 10 or 11. Ooh. And so, I have bouldering stories, as well as presents to talk about. Fun stuff. Goody goody. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but when I was at work, one of my colleagues gave me a little something on lunch. Just a little San Churros bag. I don't know if you've heard it. Essentially, it's like a little desserts and chocolatieri. I believe is what they call it. Essentially, it's just a dessert place that also does like donuts and stuff. Not that donuts aren't a dessert, but it's typically not found within the desserts category, rather more of a pastries or I don't know. Anyway, screw the semantics. I got given some little chocolates at work, which was nice. Then I got home, did the Odyssey, then bouldering time. Now, I explained it in the last video, but if you didn't see that one, bouldering is essentially indoor rock climbing with not that high of a surface you have to climb. It's a short climb, essentially, and you don't wear a safety harness. So essentially, you climb up, and then you either climb back down, or you jump down, depending on how brave you are. And I invited a good chunk of my friends from work. Not gonna lie, one person was missing from that group, but there was a complicated situation that came up that essentially they were left out, which I do really feel bad about, but yeah. Anyway, despite that, me, my friend group, my sisters, and my missus, we all went to this bouldering place. One of my colleagues actually got there like 30 minutes early. Like, I was planning to get there 15 minutes early just to make sure everything was okay with the booking, and you know, the people were gonna be showing up, and you know, we weren't gonna be short any people and things like that. But yeah, one of my workmates got there 30 minutes prior and was sort of scoping out the sites and checking things out and stuff, which was great. But holy crap, very punctual. Incredibly punctual. I wasn't even there, and I organized it. Well, partly. Anyway, so me and my missus rode together with one of my sisters. Got there, met up with my workmate, and then right as we got there, excuse me, and got in the door, my work group chat that I had created to sort of communicate about this whole bouldering booking business, the old triple B, we both got a notification from it, and it was our boss being like, I'll be there in like 15 minutes max, right? And so we were just like, okay, well, you know, it's fine. Gonna be a little bit later, but that's all well and good. That's fine. That's okay. And so we were just like, yep, cool. We can do that. That's manageable. No big deals there. Anyway, so that was my boss, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, whatever. Everyone else, this is where we are at the moment, where we're hanging out, where you can meet us and find us, sort of thing. Whew. And then I think maybe 10 minutes passes. So my boss still hasn't shown up, but a couple of other people have started trickling in. And then there's another text in the group chat from one of my best friends at work. And he sends a message and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be 30 minutes. So originally we had only booked it for 2 hours because I was thinking to myself like, an hour is probably enough time to tire us all out. However, some people I know for a fact would not be punctual. Absolutely not. It's not in their DNA to be punctual, right? I had a bit of what do you call it? I had a bit of a big brain move. And so I was like, right, book it for 2 hours. Then if we piss away the first one, actually getting organized and getting everyone in there together, then that's fine, because we've got the second one to actually enjoy the activity and do some bouldering and stuff. And funnily enough, the guy I mentioned that was like going to be 30 minutes later, wasn't the last to arrive. Anyway, so we wait for a bit. He shows up. We ask if we can get started early, because originally they were like, oh yeah, maybe wait for everyone, because depending on how many people you had in your group, changed the pricing. So the more people you had, the less it was per person. Within like a bracket of participants range, right? So I think it was like if you had 6 to 10 people, then you would pay $24 each or something, and then if you had like 11 to 15 people, you'd pay $22. I don't know. It seemed like whatever system they were working on, it seemed to work for them, right? Because they were raking in the dough. So anyway, once most of us were there, we managed to convince the guy to be like, hey, look, we're waiting on one person here, and they're on their way. So we know they're going to be here. They're coming right now. Can you just sort of wait? And he was like, look, I can induct and sort of show you all around the place now. And then when that person arrives, I don't mind inducting them on their own, and then I'll just send them over to your group sort of thing. And we were just like, oh, hell yeah. Sweetness. So we can actually, get started and not waste any time. So that's what we did. As it turns out, the second we finished our induction, we found out from the person who was arriving last was best friends with someone that was already there, and we found out through them that they had gone to the wrong bouldering place. So there's like 3 or 4 of them, fairly spread out, right? And so when they eventually realized they went to the wrong bouldering place, then obviously we're all just like, right, so like our mate was 30 minutes late, they're gonna be an hour late. Anyway, I thought people were gonna be a lot more nervous than they actually were when it comes to actually jumping on the walls and stuff, because I was sort of like kicking my feet around a bit, being like, oh no, I don't know which one to start on, there's a whole bunch of different difficulties, you absolutely cannot tell. Like, if I asked you, give me a difficulty rating scale in colors, right? I think the 2 things most people would attach to, at least in my mind, this is just in my mind, I might be completely fucking wrong, but number 1, rainbow, right? Rainbow coloring system. Good old red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, easiest to hardest, depending on which end of the spectrum is your favorite. You could maybe make purple the hardest, or you can make red the hardest, whatever you want. Anyway, that was the first thing that came to my mind. The second thing that came to my mind was, like, what do you call it? Video game weapon rarities, right? I feel like it's very often that common rarity is white. I'm mainly just going off of like either shooting games that I've played, like Borderlands 2, or like even mobile games I've played. So common is typically white, then uncommon is sort of greeny. If it's rare, it's probably a blue. If it's epic, it's most likely a bit of a purple. And then if it's like legendary, it's probably orange, maybe red, depending on how you feel. I'm sure there's a bunch of different other tiers and stuff, but you can sort of see it in this game actually with the the Instamokers, right? Yeah, see? You've got the whites for the tier 1s, greens for the tier 2s and such, blues for the tier 3s, purples for the tier 4s, and yellowy orangey for the tier 5s. Oh my god, I forgot. That round was the thing. I mean, it seems to be fine, but maybe extra demons would be nice. But yeah, so that's the two sort of color rarity rainbow scales that I thought could denote difficulty very accurately. Their scale started off with white, and then it moved to pink, and then it moved to yellow, then blue, then green, and then I didn't look at the rest of the colors, except I know black was really difficult. So, without a single semblance of what the fuck was going on, we were given this color grading system that we had to essentially learn on the spot. Luckily, there were massive signs around the place showing us the color difficulty as we were going on. And so we thought to ourselves, right, there's a bunch of different holds and things to grab onto on the walls, obviously all color-coded. That color of the holds is most likely the difficulty, because we see the same colors on the holds as is up on the wall. Right? Makes sense? Makes sense. That was not the case. In fact, it was rather the opposite. Because most of the times, this is what they actually were doing, right? They'd have that color hold, and then tucked in underneath the hold, right where you're meant to start the climb, they slipped in a little sheet of paper that said the name of the color difficulty that it was, as well as it was also a colored tag that was the same as the writing to signify, hey, you're looking at a wall full of red features that you're going to be using your hands and feet to climb. Well, guess what? This tag says white, so it's a piss easy one. And we all got very confused by that. And a lot of the time we just sort of went, right, you see the white one that's actually a red one, or, you know, you see the white difficulty one that's actually red holds, to point things out to people. It was very confusing. I still don't understand why they did that. I don't know why they think that was a good idea. Maybe they just only had certain holds for certain colors. That I could understand, but the difficulty doesn't line up or something. Anyway, that was the only thing I could think of. But honestly, it was really good fun. We started off, like I said, I was sort of like kicking my feet a little bit, being like, ooh, which one do I pick? I ended up choosing a black hold one that was white difficulty. Completely opposite ends of the difficulty spectrum outlined to us, but what are you gonna do, you know? So that's what I ended up attempting first, but before I even scoped it out in the first place, I turned to my right, my boss is up a fucking wall. Basically about to touch the top, right? And I'm like, oh damn, that was fucking quick. Nice. Turns out, he was one of the first to leave. Not because he injured himself or anything like that, but he did also have other plans on the night, on that same night. Honestly, like, in my mind, he could have cancelled on me. He could have just been like, nah, I've got other shit to do. Or he could have cancelled last minute. But instead, I really appreciate this too. Like, some people would be like, oh, you know, only showing up for 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, boring. That sucks. He did end up staying for like an hour. But he did make it very clear straight away, like, that he was not able to stay long. Ooh, that is almost death. Not quite though. So yeah, he wasn't able to stay the full 2 hours sort of thing, which is fair enough. 2 hours is quite a while to take out of anyone's night, really. No way. No way. So he made that very clear, but I just think of it like this. Could have left earlier, could have cancelled completely. Instead, chose to show up, spend an hour hanging out with us all, which I really appreciated, especially because it was, you know, for my birthday. Oh god, oh god. Damn it. Anyway, like I said, I really appreciated that from him. He didn't have to show up at all, really, but still chose to show up for an hour, which I thought was very nice. And so I'm assuming that's why he immediately fucking speed ran to jump onto a wall the second he fucking could. Also because, you know, we were waiting around a little bit because we did need most of our participants before we could start. So we had been waiting for a little while anyway. But that gave us a chance to sort of mingle a bit, you know. My family has never met anyone from my workplace. My missus has met a couple of them, but obviously not everyone. And so they all got to have a little bit of a chat, get to know each other before we jumped on the walls and such. But yeah, so I think I tried out a few of the white and pink difficulties. Those were the easier side of things. It's sort of like, unless you're choosing the kids section, or like the kids rated ones, the white and pink ones are like the easiest there is. So I started off with a few of those, realized I was like pretty decent at them. I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I can do these. I can manage these fairly well. Not too shabby sort of thing, right? And so I was eyeballing up a red climb. Red holds, yellow difficulty. So yellow difficulty was the next one up after either white or pink. I'm not sure which one was harder, just from memory. But yellow difficulty was the third tier, not including the kids. Right? The kids difficulty, we didn't count that. We skipped over that many times, just being like, it's for kids, isn't it? We're not kids. We're men and women. We're not children. So we skipped over the kids ones. We didn't count that. We were just like, nah, that doesn't count. So pretty much everyone in the group completed levels 1 and 2. Right? As well as some kids holds, because sometimes we were just like, we need a confidence boost. And that worked out pretty nicely, to be honest. For some people, not for me. The first time I did the kids one, I was like, right, well, that has weakened me because I've used my muscles again, and I don't feel any semblance of confidence. So that was just a downside for me. But either way, oh god, everything's leaking. I either need another one of those up quick, or I need Psy and some abilities would be nice. Oh crap. Okay. Let's maybe build up our sniper. As well as Thorn Swarm that. But yes, so I was eyeballing up a red climb with yellow difficulty attached to it. And I was saying to my mates, I was like, I kind of want to try one of the more difficult ones like that one. They were just like, oh yeah, go on, give it a shot. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out and see what I think. I put my hands on, I put my feet on, and then I slipped off immediately. And that's when I was just like, okay, cool. Yellow difficulty is a little too much, I see. But my friends are really sweet. They're super encouraging. They were just like, nah, fuck that. You just had a shit start, try it again. So I was like, okay, cool. So I tried a couple of times, still didn't really get the hang of it. But I figured out how to get onto like the sort of start. And sure enough, the second I figure that out, I'm up there, and I get to this part where my hand fucking like, I can sense it wants to slip, right? I just grabbed a new hold with my hand, and I was like, that's gonna fucking slip if I try and hold onto this for any longer. So I immediately just sort of like lunge for the next one and managed to grab it. Such a nice hold. So much better than the one before. And so I was like, fuck yes, I can hold on to that. And luckily enough, the rest of the climb from then on was easy. So, smash that. Oh, it's double HP mobs, isn't it? Good to remember that. So anyway, smash that climb. That was the most difficult climb that I had done at that point. Right? And I'll tell you now, a little bit of a spoiler, it was the most difficult climb I'd done the entire night. Because that was my first yellow tiered climb, and also my only one that I successfully completed. Luckily though, I had incredibly competitive friends that immediately saw me do that, and were just like, oh fuck you, that was probably just an easy one, let me have a go. Luckily enough, again for me, they weren't able to do it, and so they were confirming that it was a pain in the ass to get through. And that was a nice little confidence boost for me. Finding a difficult one that only I could complete. That was fun. That was fun. But yeah, I must admit, some of my friends spent a while trying to do that one before they eventually were just like, nah, fuck this one sucks. But yeah, so that was a good time. And then we went upstairs. There was like another section upstairs, second portion, I guess. And we pretty much spent a good chunk of time up there. There was a few other difficult ones up there that I really wanted to try out. As expected, I was not that great at it. Yeah, that kind of sucks, huh? I hope I removed those trees during this rant. No, I didn't. Cool. Right, well, neither of you are great for Moab damage at the moment. You could be, though. Or you could at least be decent. Okay, we'll get rid of you two. We'll see what you can do. And we'll put, I don't know, this guy maybe. But yeah, so then we went upstairs and tried a few climbs up there. Oh, but now how are we gonna actually kill the thing? The insides. I don't think much when I do these. Right. What is insanely good at popping mobs? Oh, if I sold these to get like a mob dom. Is that insanely good at popping mobs? I don't quite know. Not a mob don, sorry, a press. Mob press. Thing is, I still want to keep the sniper so I can, you know, pop the insides. Oh, come on. Yeah, thank you. Do it again. Wow, you're both really garbage at that. But yeah, it was good fun seeing my workmates and my sisters alike both scaling up walls, failing, falling down, laughing, having a good time. No one got injured, honestly. did not expect that to happen. I was expecting like 4 people to call in sick today. But no one got injured. It's kind of baffling. Right, 10 grand. What can we do with 10 grand? We could certainly try this. That's way too risky, isn't it? Honestly, that dealt a lot more damage than I thought it would. But yeah, it was a really good night. Mohawk glue is fairly cheap. Do you think that could work? That's annoying. Really? Oh. I don't even get money from that, so it doesn't matter. What if I sold these guys instead? Oops. Oh wait, then where the fuck is my damage? Or what the fuck is my damage? These guys? I don't think so. But yeah, it was a really good night out bouldering. And then I'm just trying to think if there was any highlights. Oh, there was. Okay, there was a really cool boulder, or problem rather, that we attempted to climb. We never succeeded, but now me and a couple of friends have sworn vengeance against it. So at some point in time, we're gonna go back and. Sorry about that. That is my 10 o'clock alarm. Spoilers for those who were wanting to guess what time it was as I'm recording this. I don't know. Anyway. So we all had a good time, headed home, and then I grabbed my presents. I got a few Pokemon related gifts. Ooh, we almost popped it. If Sai could grab ceramics, we would have been able to grab that then. I think we're going to restart this and then try and focus on some more money grabbing strategies. There's probably a better method for me to get all of this done, but I'm thinking extra money in the bank wouldn't hurt. And we did have pretty much all of our lives by the end of that, so I think we're given the green light to be a bit more crazy with our spending. But yeah, so I got a few Pokemon things for my birthday. One of my colleagues was kind enough to give me a present at all. I wasn't expecting anything from any of them, honestly. Just them showing up would have been nice. And they did that, so it was a little extra nice from one of them, but I wasn't expecting it, which I guess is nice too. A little bit of a surprise. But anyway, one of my colleagues got me some Pokemon cards, which was very kind. I'm not like super heavy into Pokemon. I don't really play it. I don't really collect it all that much. You know, I'm a little more on the Yu-Gi-Oh side of things, but that's just what they know from me playing Pokemon Go all the time. They just immediately assume I'm like into the TCG and all that stuff, but either way, I appreciate it. I do have a collection of Pokemon cards, so they will be added to it. But yeah, more of a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of guy. Anyway, so I got Pokemon cards. I also got Pokemon socks from the same person, which was nice. I also have I also like to play a fun game with my mum, where anytime she gets me any presents, I try and guess what they are before I open them, because she likes to wrap them. And usually I'm pretty decent at it, and yesterday was no exception, because I managed to figure out what most of my gifts were before even opening them. I knew one of them was socks just based on the feel of it. You know, like a solid mid piece, sort of cardboardy, flexible mid piece, and then fluffy outsides next to it. I could immediately tell that was socks, and I was just like, right, well, these are socks type thing. And she was just like, well, I saw you needed some, so she just caved immediately, just told me. I also got... Okay, I only learned about this the other day. But apparently there's these things called Stanley Cups, which are like stupidly fancy water bottles that keep shit insulated or like cool or cold or something. That's dodgy. That's dodgy. That's dodgy. But yeah, they keep things cool and insulated and stuff, or like hot and warm, or I don't know how it works. Physics, man. Either way, they do stuff, right? And supposedly they're fancy. However, my mum being my mum and knowing exactly who I am, knew for a fact that I don't give a shit for fancy and expensive. And so she got me a sort of knockoff version that was much cheaper, much more affordable, and essentially does the exact same fucking thing. So I got myself a fake Stanley Cup, I guess, or rather not fake, because well, it's not by the Stanley brand or whatever, but it doesn't say Stanley on it. It says a completely different other brand, a brand that also makes like gym wear and fucking furniture, which is crazy to me. Oh my god. One life in a dream. One life in a dream. So anyway, I've got a nice cup like that. I got a little bit of Lego. The Lego helicopter that I need to build. Who knows? Maybe I'll build it on stream or something. We'll see. My missus got me a board game. She got me Betrayal at the House on the Hill or something. Betrayal at the House on the Hill, I think it was called. So I'll get to try that out with my family next time we have a bit of a board game night. And what else? Did I get anything else? Oh yes! So I actually asked my sister to get me something specifically, because she was just like, what do you want for your birthday? And she's a very direct person, right? Which I love and hate sometimes. Depends on the situation. Anyway, she had no idea what to get me, and so she was just like, what do you want for your birthday? I'll get that. I was like, okay, cool. And so I looked at her and I was like, have you heard of Squishmallows? And she hadn't, and so I filled her in on what they were. And she was like, oh, okay, right, well, yeah, I can get you one of those if you want. I was like, yep, one of those. And of course, if it comes down to Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, in terms of which one's more popular and which one's more likely to do collaborations and stuff, you know it's gonna be Pokemon. Pokemon is just so much bigger than Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyway, so I said, look, just pick out a Squishmallow from this list of my favorite ones that are Squishmallow or Ball. And then, you know, spend as much as you're wanting to, or as much as you feel comfortable with, on the biggest Squishmallow you can get for that price. Oh, fuck, don't delete all my towers, please. Oh, cool, thank you. And so she was like, okay, I can do that. And so she ended up getting me a Dragonite Squishmallow. Does that drop? That does drop. Nice. And so now I've got a 20-inch Dragonite Squishmallow sat on my bed behind me, and it's gonna be like my little mascot for streams and stuff. My only sort of my only condition for like what Pokemon to get was I have to have it as one of my best buddies in Pokemon Go. And I happen, like, my top two were a best buddy Gengar that I named Cicero, and a best buddy Dragonite, which I named Toothless, after the good old How to Train Your Dragon. And so I ended up getting myself a 20-inch Squishmallow Toothless, which was, and still is, super adorable, super fluffy, very squishy. I love him. Nope. Okay, not gonna work. I need that extra 4,000 for the main Moab. Ow! Fuck! Sorry. You know when you have an injury and you're trying to protect yourself from it? And so, like, despite how hard you try to protect yourself, either with like a band-aid or like an extra pair of, like, extra bit of clothing or anything like that, you somehow manage to bash the spot that hurts like 500 fucking times more throughout the day than if you had just had your day go by normally. Yeah, that's me at the moment, because I scraped my hand at some point bouldering. I don't even know when it was or how I did it. I just know that it happened at some point because I jumped off a wall and my sister was like, hey, you're bleeding. And I'm like, oh, shit, I am. Anyway, this should cover it. And then we need to build up that defense again, because we can stun this guy infinitely now. But go, you grab two, you shoot one, you still beat the other. Wow, fucking good on you. But yes, so I'm gonna restart that round just to make things a little easier on myself. I'm gonna give myself a head start in terms of money. So I'm gonna get this guy here. We're gonna go Jungle's Bounty just to start off on the money train, and then we'll build this back up. Cool. What was I talking about? Squishmallows. Hurt my hand. Bleeding a little. I continued bouldering even after that. Like, that did not slow me down. That was... Honestly, bouldering is really good fun. If you're looking for an activity to try out and just see how you do, if you're looking for a little bit of a sporty activity, would highly recommend bouldering. If you can find a place near you that does it, absolutely go give it a try. It's great fun. Not sponsored. Never will be. Probably not, at least. But yeah, honestly, good fun. Give it a go. No one has to worry about stupid harnesses getting in the way, because that was one of my best mates' biggest concerns. They were just like, oh, that stupid harness is going to get in the way and it's going to make me chafe like shit. And I was like, that's the best part. There's no safety. But yeah, so maybe in a future stream, if you happen to tune in, you will get to meet Toothless, my Dragonite squishy boy. And it'll be a good time. I did specifically get these Jungle's Bounties to make, first of all, lives back, and second of all, money. Because holy shit. Need money. Need camo detection and defense. Holy shit. I mean, I guess this factory's kind of got this on lock at the moment. But realistically, I need Moab damage again. What's cheaper at the moment? 1, 2? Yeah, probably. I'm gonna go for a spiked balls Moab defense. It's very fucking risky. Considering, you know, the Moab comes out immediately. No hesitation. You know when you kind of just say fuck it though and really hope that you can force the strategy to work? That's what I'm doing. But hey, 8 lives. So much better than 1. Stun you there. Stun you again. Not for a 3rd time, apparently. How do we do? Okay. Okay. Interesting. So if we can time that well enough, I think we can grab all of those before we die. I just have to really keep a fucking eye on how well we're living, essentially. If I stun you while those two can actually throw things at you, that's even better too. Gives you a head start on death. Nope. It broke down at the wrong time there. But yeah, once I got home, got given all my presents and stuff. Sat and had a chat with my sisters for a bit, and my mum. And of course my partner. She stuck around for a while, which was nice. And then... Ooh, that could be it. Oh, yes! That's the ticket. That's the ticket. Now we've got build-up. Now we've got build-up. Hopefully we can clean all this before the next mob comes. And that'll be the end of the wave, so all of these guys will be ready to grab the shit out of that stuff. So we're good. We're good. But I do still want proper Moab popping power detection prevention. Words elude me sometimes. Anyway. Yeah, that was pretty much the end of my night. I said goodbye to my sisters and my missus. And then, that was a real clencher watching all those disappear. And then to finish off my night, I uploaded the first part of the Odyssey and went the fuck to sleep. So that will work. This one, I doubt. So we're gonna do something else instead. But yes, that was my entire birthday. It was good fun. Really enjoyed it. And some of the psychopaths at work today have already been talking about going back. And like, I think 3 of them. All of them, my very competitive male friends, immediately were like, look, me and one of my best friends was just like, okay, well, we didn't manage to do this really cool one that we wanted to do earlier. We kind of sucked at it, so we want to go back and do that one. And then another one of my friends was like, I genuinely think I might get a membership for this, just because of how fun it is, and I want to get back in shape, sort of thing. So I was just like, oh yeah, cool, I'm happy with that, nice. And then my last friend was just like, I think I want to take my partner here and do like a session together thing. And I was like, that sounds incredibly adorable. I love it. So potentially we've all got plans to go back, so we might all just go back at the same time. Just go together. That looks scary. But yes. And you absolutely know that we were fucked up afterwards. Like, we didn't get fucked up, you know, it wasn't like going out for drinks and shit, but we were sore as shit. Like, holy crap. It really fucks you up if you climb for like an hour or so. Okay, nice. But yeah, we were so fucking sore. We got to the point where we couldn't do the easy ones anymore. Just because our muscles were so fucking weak that even such a basic maneuver was now just draining our souls. And our physical muscles of any will to hold on to the wall anymore. But yeah, pretty much everyone at work that showed up today was just like, fuck, I'm sore as hell. And we were all just like, yep, that's pretty agreed upon at the moment. Which was kind of hilarious though, because first of all, my thought process behind it was, oh hey, my birthday lands on a Thursday. Thursday also happens to be our shortest day at work. Maybe I could plan something. And then the plan, you know, slowly evolved and emerged from there. Only on the day when we arrived there, I finally realized, and it sort of clicked in my head like, oh hey, today was our shortest day, yeah. But tomorrow's our longest. So all of us were sort of just like looking around at each other like, we're gonna spend fucking like 10 hours at work tomorrow. And we're gonna be sore as shit. I didn't think that part, admittedly. But it was still really good fun either way. Let's stun these guys a little, shall we? I like this. I'm just trying to amass Jungle's bounties for our friend 63. And just money in general. Always in those plans. But yeah, so now we've all sort of like had a chat with each other and been like, hey, we're all fairly keen on going again, so if anyone is gonna do it, let the rest of us know, and we'll all sort of make another day out of it. Stun them there, just to give our factory a little bit more time to build up some defense. Hey, I like it. And final. You know we gotta do it, Tom. Can't take the risk on the final raid play. Screw that nonsense. Right, now we just need mob damage, realistically. Mob damage and spiked mines, I think, will top this cake nicely. So if we just sort of stun everything around the middle here. It's a little scary, if I'm honest, but we have so many insta-kills, it's kind of insane. So many insta-kills once they come around. But yeah, honestly, I've only ever been bouldering once before yesterday, and I found it really fun, and I wanted to go back. So it had been like a couple of years since I had last been there. But holy shit, yeah, I know why I wanted to come back, because it was honestly really good fun. Would absolutely recommend. Maybe just hold some of those guys in place for a little while. Yeah. Good. Oh, and then today. Today was actually stupidly long. I think I started work at 7:30, and then I finished work at like 6:30, 6:40. Luckily enough, it also happens to be a public holiday on Monday, so we did have to work slightly longer today in order to account for the people ordering on a public holiday. But it means that we actually get Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off and all to ourselves, which is always nice. Right, we're gonna do this for these guys, just so that life can be a dream. We never have to worry about camera detection ever again. One thing we're consistently lacking here, so maybe we'll improve it. Oh, see, that was scary. I don't think it should have been, but that was scary. Si, when can you start taking these guys down on the Still waiting for that to happen. Not yet. Still not yet. Holy shit. I'm gonna start opening up some of this. Ruin the mobs' lives a little earlier. Because I think our defense is solid. It's just good to have a little extra wiggle room, you know? But yes, today took fucking forever, but got home, had some of my cookies that my missus made me for my birthday, had some dinner, and now I'm here. I've got not too many things planned for the weekend. May think of some activity to conjure up, considering it's a long weekend, and you get to spend it with my partner. May concoct something up for us to go and do. We'll see, we'll see. But, yeah, honestly, I had a good birthday. And thank you everyone again for the well wishes in the comments. Appreciate it. And I hope you guys had a great day on my birthday. Not that I'm trying to claim that day as specifically mine, but you know what you guys had a good September 19th. And if you didn't, well, that wasn't my fault. You can't prove anything, and that won't hold up in court, so good luck. We're gonna let those four get away. We're gonna let the next four get away as well. And now we're gonna grab this one. I don't trust it. Holy shit, spiked mine, you fucking legend. We're just gonna do that, because screw you. Get rid of these. And I guess complete the trifecta, right? shoot fast bullet gun. And also I had an ice cream cake. Not all to myself, but in terms of birthday cake, I had an ice cream cake. For those who were wondering. There we go. This, surprisingly, is doing very well. I'm usually pretty terrible on Dark Castle, honestly. But this worked out weirdly well. I will throw down a mob group like before, just to mess the mobs up even further. You know, it's overwhelming. They could do. That is the one thing they could very much do. It's just overwhelming. Oh shit! It's so much cheaper. I think it should be even cheaper than that, to be honest. Like, comparing Super Glue with Crossbow Master, Super Glue does fuck all. It's tech. I'm thinking Super Glue should be like middle or bottom tier 5 sniper level costs. I don't know, maybe that's too cheap? I don't know. Oh yeah, we don't get to see this mob because it's just getting stunned to hell. We get to see the red nose. Oh my god, that was my back cracking like 400 times. Oh. But yeah, everyone was basically a zombie at work today. Not only because they had to work like a 10 to 11 hour shift, but because a lot of the ones that went with me bouldering, their arms and back and neck and fingers and everything was just fucking sore. But regardless, everyone said they had a great time. That's all I was hoping for. Anyway, that has been Night Night Part 2, 400 monkey money. Nice little monkey ace there, and 50 trophies for compensation. So it's bedtime. Don't these balloons know what a 9 to 5 is? They absolutely don't. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.